Hi guys, I am Vignesh. Now we are going to create the solid features into two different tool itself. Look at it, there we have a different kind of views, clearly explains the dimensions in detail about that. First look at the front section views, all the dimensions are placed on one particular view itself. Consider as a main view, we are going to define and draw a profile from this front view itself. Look at it closely, there is some kind of a section views are placed on its positions. First select a front plane and create a new sketch. Draw one vertical axis line, that is a center line. Once we draw a profile, now I am going to prefer a line and complete this closed sections profiles into a single sketch itself. Draw one horizontal line, vertical line, angular line, again horizontal line, vertical. Draw a complete closed profiles with the respective of our pictures, that is from the section view itself. Once we draw a complete closed profiles, then use the smart dimension to fix each and every points relate to itself. First, we need to define the overall diameter. Y means once we define the overall diameter value, automatically each and every portions or changes according to that. Don't need much dimensional distance or much changes needed for that. Once we give the total dimensions, it enough to change the each and every individual profiles also. The overall diameter is 240 mm. Next, look at the section view. There we have a small vertical dimensions called 8 mm. So select the small line profiles, then assign the dimensions of 8 mm. Now, what is this line profiles from bottom to this particular horizontal line? It is 105 mm. So select a horizontal line as well as an origin point, then give the dimensions of 105 mm. Then the overall value, it is nothing but 116 mm. That is a top to bottom. Entire height is 116 mm. Mention 116 mm. After that, selecting this vertical line as well as an axis, then define the dimensions of 174 mm. That is an inner diameter specifications, 174 mm. Once we mention that, then take a look on the top portions. There we need to assign a two different kind of a diameter value itself. The first one is 80 mm, that is an outer dia. Mention 80 mm on the category. Now select this another vertical line. Choose this construction line same as like that. Then what is the dimensions of it? It is 50 mm. If you draw a vertical center line, we can easily give the diameter value also. Other than that, we can only able to give a radius values itself. Now what is the vertical line dimensions? Is 8 mm. So mention 8 mm on the current category. Afterwards, I need to define the vertical line also, that is from the bottom point. What is the dimensions of it? 66.8 mm. So mention 66.8 mm on the particular portion itself. Once we mention that, automatically each and every profile gets fixed. That is the point gets fixed. Only thing we need to done from this current category is we need to set the angle. Also, there is another kind of a line profiles parallel with each other. First, I need to delete this portions. So select this line, delete it now. Once we define that inner line with an angle, then use this offset entities to create a new line from the profile. Now what is the values of this angular line is? Take a look on a side view. There we have the angle of 45 degree. So mention 45 degree on the current portions. Mention 45 degree itself. Now choose an offset entities. Before that, we need to define the distance. Here we don't have enough distance to specify the offset value. But if you measure a line profile, both the horizontal line profile, there is a dimensions of 3 mm. It is not directly indicated on the drawing also. We just define it from the gaps itself. So use an offset entities, select this two different line and offsetting the values up to 3 mm. Look at it, there we have none of the values are specified 3 mm. We defined by using of this 8 mm vertical line as well as an 105 line. That in between gap is only a 3 mm between that. So mention this 3 mm on the way. Now extend this line profiles. Also use an extend entities. Choose this particular end portions. The line profile is extended up to the opposite limit. Then use the trim entities to trim the excess number of the portions also. Now I am going to extend this particular line profiles also. Again use the trim entities to trim this excess number of the portions. The complete closed profiles gets created by using of this dimensions as well as geometrical constraints. Next, we are going to create a chamfer at the particular section. Choose the angle and distance and specify the 4 mm value for the distance and angular value is 45 degree. Select two different line profiles to form that. Next thing we need to done from this area is fillet formation. Look at it, there we have a different kind of fillet formations takes place at different locations. So select a fillet, change the radius of 2 mm, select the sharp edges as well as the bottom sharp edges and form a fillet up to the radius of 2 mm. Select the sharp edges and form a radius of 2 mm. Now, the first fillet is created. Next, we need to assign a 4 mm radius of fillet at another sharp edges portions. It is only lies on one circular edges itself. Look at it, there we have none of the other edges under the radius of 4 mm. Only one edges have the radius of 4 mm. Once we apply this radius, again change it into 6 mm. Then choose whatever the sharp edges we need to consider to take this fillet formations. Now I am going to prefer this vertical as well as an angular line to create this fillet formations. Also look at the bottom sharp edges, it is also the same kind of radius of 6 mm. Select the bottom edges, that is a bottom, vertical and a horizontal line to create this fillet formations of 6 mm radius. Once we create a fillet, now exit the sketch and form a solid by using of revolved bows. Choose this vertical axis line, consider this and form a solid body. Once we created, the solid body is now formed by using of that. Next thing we need to done from this area is the pocket formations. So select the bottom face and create new sketch. Why I am selecting this bottom faces to draw my profiles and create a pocket formations under that means there is some kind of things behind that. Laterally we seen in detail. Now look at the profile of it. First, I am going to prefer one simple corner rectangle profile, draw from its particular point. Afterwards, again I am going to choose one simple circular profile from the center point. What is the diameter of this value? Is 123 mm diameter circular profile. So choose a circle from the center point up to its locations, then mention the diameter of 123 mm. Then intersect both the profiles, that is a rectangular profile as well as a circular profile. After intersecting that, I am going to prefer the circular edges, select that, then use the convert entities to create into a sketch. Now I am going to fix this line profile horizontally. So select the dimensions and choose this line profile. Mention the dimensions of horizontal value is 20 mm. Once we mention that, it takes place into one positions. Now I select this midpoint as well as use the vertical constraints to fix it linearly. Afterwards, choose the line profile and go to snap, intersection snap. Draw from the intersecting positions, that is a vertical line as well as a circular profile intersecting at some of its area. I am going to prefer these portions and draw a new line up to its own distance. Again, same as like choosing a line, go to intersect snap. Once the line gets indicated, we can easily draw a profile from the intersection of both the line as well as the circular areas. The two different profiles is drawn now. I think the line profile is coincided to some of its edges, so select this particular coincided and delete it. Once we delete these portions, now use the trim entities also to trim the excess number of the entities we want. So select the trim entities and choose whatever the respective areas we want to trim from this portions. Again choose the trim entities, select this particular areas. Now choose the smart dimensions and selecting this line as well as the endpoint, we get a quadrant. Using this quadrant, initiate an angle. What is the angle of that? If you look at the drawing, the total angle is nothing but 20 degree. If you want to give only half of the angular area means, we just specify 10 degree, it's enough to fix this overall line profiles. Now assign a 10 degree on the left hand side, same as like at the right hand portion, selecting the line as well as the endpoint. Using this quadrant, mention the angle of 10 degree. Now look at these portions, almost we get that. Only thing we need to fix this endpoint also. The total angle is nothing but 20 degree, but the endpoint is not coincided with each other. What is the difference? So select this particular endpoint. Before that, I just transfer the circular sketch into a construction line. Now choose this endpoint as well as the circular reference sketch coincided with each other. Again pick this one, coincided with each other. Then either you can use this profile to create a pocket, or we can go to the previous sketches again, form a pattern by using of that. Now select the circular patterns at the top of its portions, or you can simply type this command in a command line area also. Either you can pick directly from the command manager or type a command in the command line area. Now I type a command of circular sketch pattern, then choose this line as an entities to patterns area one by one. Select the entire profiles, that is enclosed profile regions. Then go to the top of its sections called equal spacing. Just uncheck that. What is the in-between angle of each and every profiles is 20 degree. So mention 20 degree on the particular spacing areas now. Also increase the instance. Just to increase the distance closer to each and every portions. There is totally required 9 different instances for creating a pocket, complete pocket on that area. Once you draw a profile, now exit the sketches. Now go to extruder cut and choose an offset distance and specify the distance of 38 mm, because in the drawing the profiles gets offsetted from the bottom portions up to the distance of 38 mm. Then mention the directions of through all to cut the entire solid body up to the recommended distance, whatever that dimensions takes place. Almost the solid body gets created. Only thing we need to done from this portion is the circular pocket. Look at the diameter of that 12 mm diameter at different types of an instance also created. Now selecting the top faces, create new sketch, draw one simple circular profile at the top and quadrant point. Also draw another pitch circle from the center point. Transfer that into a construction line because it is only for a reference purpose. Now what is the diameter of this area is 12 mm diameter. Use the smart dimensions, then mention the value of 12 mm. Now select the center point as well as an origin point to give the vertical constraints. After that, we need to specify the diameter of this pitch circle also. Here we don't have enough dimensions to given on this pitch circle area. We can able to fix it by using of this recommended distance value. Go to evaluate and just to find out what is the distance between this circular profile. Select a measure and choose two opposite circular profile. Now the in-between distance is 24 mm. So half of the distance is 12 mm. Use a smart dimension, fix the center circle as well as an edges. Then mention the dimensions of 12 mm. Okay. Once we initiate the circular profile, also it is fixed on its positions. Now use a circular sketch pattern. Directly you can pick it from the command manager or type a command in the command line. In the entities tab, I can straightly prefer the circular profile. On the directions, it takes place its own positions. Now choose a different kind of an instance we want. How many number of the instance we recommended for this particular portions to create a pocket for the solid body. Then exit the sketch. Now I want to fix this profile. So selecting the center point as well as a pitch circle to coincide with each other. Select either any two entities. It's enough to fix this entire patterns. Under through all, I can able to make a complete pocket on that. That's all. We're done from this to create a complete solid body. Thank you. Hi. If you want to develop your skills in a Solidworks means, you can utilize our platform called www.kaliru.in. In our website, we completely explain each and every tools with the respective of an examples in detail, clearly in English itself. Because if you are familiar with English and wants to learn it from itself means, you can just go to our platform, look at the syllabus and know in detail about that. Not only a solid modeling, also a surface modeling like a product designs, automotive surface tailing courses like a complete car body designs. All kind of a product designs are clearly explained in our platform. And if you want to design a sheet metal and weldment structures with the relative of an examples, because here in the sheet metal we need to clear about a K factor, bend allowance, bend deductions. These factors are important to design. Also the structural components is one of the important designs to develop. Take a look on that.